everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante, bringing you truth from the outskirts of Gotham. Oh, even when people drinking their own Kool-Aid say I'm not the true left. Let's fight over who's the true left. It's a good thing to fight over. Remember last winter when we showed how Texas, because they deregulated their power grid like way back, like 80 years ago or whatever, and greed from utility companies, people were without power last year. Remember that? Texas natural gas production dropped during recent cold front, reviving concerns about the electric grid. So this is from Winter Storm. So that was 2021. Remember that? How bad it was? And I said, they didn't fix their grid. And I said, luckily, Texas didn't have like a crazy, crazy hot summer. I mean, it gets pretty hot in Texas in the summer anyway. But I said, if they didn't fix the grid, it's going to break down again. It's going to break down again. So energy experts said the production drop during a relatively ordinary cold front could be a bad sign for the grid if the state is struck by extreme weather again. They're having a cold front, like which right now, it's pretty cold in Texas, but it's winter. This normally happens. But what if it's extreme? Last year it was like in March and it was really bad. So this was January 5th of this year. This just came out. January 19th, 400,000 Texas homes and businesses could lose power over financial dispute between energy companies. So if you're living in Texas, you might lose energy because two big greedy energy companies are having a pissing contest. Good system, right? When everything's for profit. So I just want you to, when you hear deregulation, and I know a lot of people live in Texas are like, oh boy, those liberal blue states, they regulate too much. And the energy companies have screwed over and bought politicians here in good old California too. I'm telling you, whenever you hear deregulation, just know you're going to get the working class American is getting screwed. These two words, deregulation and bipartisan. Those two words, that is an oiled up fist that is going right up your boom. Yeah, that's what that means. Vista Corp asked the Railroad Commission of Texas to prevent Energy Transfer LP. We know how awful they are. They're big pipeline people, right? Energy Transfer. We've done numerous stories. Dakota Access Pipeline. Oh, they're awful. Asked the Railroad Commission to prevent Energy Transfer from cutting off fuel to 5 of its power plants on Monday. Vistra said the power supply to at least 400,000 homes and businesses could be impacted. Oh, man. Here's the third word to be careful of: privatize. We got to privatize. Anytime you got politicians and journalists saying privatize, the government run this or that is horrible. Well, privatization means, I'm not saying government run stuff is always run perfectly. No, I'm not saying that. But when there's some type of government oversight, some type of civilian regulation, it's better than private corporations, because private corporations do not care. People losing power and dying last year in Texas was 100% preventable. Just like when PG&E let fires happen in California, it was all for greed. And then they buy politicians. If you're in Texas, they're going to buy Republican politicians. If you're in California, they're going to buy Democrat politicians. You're a sucker if you think one of those parties is better than the other. You're a sucker. Seeing Texas and California both get screwed over should be enough of an example. Texas, red is red. California, blue. All right. Learn the hard way. America, you seem to like learning the hard way. The companies under Energy Transfer, the pipeline company, have told Vistra that gas will stop flowing to 5 Vistra power plants on Monday unless Vistra pays Energy Transfer $21.6 million, according to the filing. So I guess this is this coming Monday. Might want to buy like some firewood or whatever, because you're going to get screwed. The threat to terminate service in the middle of the winter is illegal and grossly irresponsible and should be prohibited by this commission, Vistra said in the complaint to the Railroad Commission. So here's what happened. During last year's winter storm, which caused the near total collapse of the state power grid, Remember the whole state of Texas? Left millions without power for days and caused hundreds of deaths. Remember, food was lost. I mean, I donated money to the Houston Food Bank last year as a result of this. Unreal. I've performed all through Texas. I got friends in Texas. You got to wake up. Right? You got to wake up. It's like, and people in Texas are like, oh, the liberals are, things are so much better in Texas because we don't let the liberals ruin it. No, corporations ruin it. Just like the liberals in California go, oh boy, we're so much better in California because we don't let the Republicans ruin it. And who ruins California? Liberal Democrats. Who ruins Texas? Conservative Republicans. Because both parties are bought and paid for. Like, how many times do I got to say this? Vistra spent approximately $1.5 billion for natural gas, twice its planned natural gas cost to fuel its entire Texas fleet for a full year, the filing said. Vistra paid Energy Transfer more than $600 million during the storm, which is more than 96% of all amounts invoiced by Energy Transfer. So the point they're making is, yes, first of all, we were charged more and we've had to pay more than we've ever had to pay. We paid you back more than you've ever invoiced. So it's not like Energy Transfer is going, oh, because Vistra hasn't paid us, we don't have the money. This is how awful corporations operate. If you live in Texas, you should be outraged. And if you let your politicians do this to you, you should be outraged. Don't take over the Capitol because you don't want to wear masks. Don't take over the dude, this is unreal. So the $600 million that Energy Partners was paid was 96%. So it made so much money. They price gouged. They've got a bunch of it back, and now they want more money. You have to have government oversight. Governments are supposed to be by the people for them. That's what America's supposed to be. It's supposed to help regulate so greedy corporations don't just do whatever they want. There's supposed to be civilian oversight. We're supposed to have democratically elected. We're supposed to have this libertarian, just do it yourself. The free market will fix it. This is the free market fixing it. How do you have an equitable society when everything's for profit? Then only the rich people profit. How are you denying energy to people in the middle of another ice storm? Like, how do you, it's like people dying because they don't have health insurance. It's insane to me. America is a complete clown show. It's unreal how bad. I mean, this is what unbridled capitalism is. We don't have a representative democracy because none of the politicians you voted for work for you. They work for big corporations. So whichever one of these corporations has bought more politicians, that's who's going to win this ruling, just so you know. The cost for natural gas soared during the storm. Weird. Oh, gee, price gouging during the storm. When a combination of freezing temperatures across the state and skyrocketing demand shut down natural gas facilities and power plants, which rely on each other to keep electricity flowing. Well, or you could have solar and wind and store excess in batteries. Because wind turbines will be working during a storm, generating. What do I know? While many companies lost money during the storm, Energy Transfer made $2.4 billion. So let me walk you back this one a little bit. They charged a lot. They got paid $600 million by Vistra and overall made record profits, but it's still never enough to feed the greedy, sadistic capitalist machine. It's never enough. It is never enough. You work in a hospital and the power got shut out and people died. Sorry, shut up. It's like in Goodfellas when they're talking about, he goes, company goes under, fuck you, pay me. You lost your business, fuck you, pay me. That's how, this is capitalism. This is unbridled. We do not have a representative democracy. We have a kleptocracy run by oligarchs. This happens in this happens in healthcare industry. I mean, this happened when the big pharmaceutical companies made profit off of the opioid epidemic. They profit off of your death and your misery. They profit off of this. And when they make record profits and you're behind on a payment, they don't care. And the federal government and the Republicans and the Democrats bail these companies out. These people should be strung up. These guys should be on trial for murder. No, that won't happen. Energy Transfer did not immediately reply to a request for comment. If you live in Texas, or if you have friends that live in Texas or family live in Texas, show them this video. Tell them to wake up. File the money, connect the dots, get the truth. See why we need money spent on actually a new power grid and green energy? Our nationwide, our power grid is a joke. Texas's power grid is the worst because they deregulated it back in the 1930s. Why did they do that? Rich oil guys didn't want to have to be held accountable. And they said, it's freedom in Texas. We stand alone. We don't want Washington, D.C. telling Texas what to do. That's anytime you hear that, no, that's a greedy asshole. That's a greedy asshole talking to a conservative voter base. So they'll say conservative buzzwords to get red state voters to vote against their own interest. Liberals will say diversity. We need to fuck over for diversity and rainbow flags. And that's how they get liberals to vote against their own interests. Identity politics. Don't vote for the white guy. He's evil. Vote for this person of color who's just as evil, but you'll think we've made progress. See how they trick you? See how they trick you? All I got to do is come into Texas and say, family values, and get Joe Biden's hand out of my pocketbook. And then I'll get you to you'll vote. I will get you to give your children face tattoos while I set your dog on fire, but you'll think it's for your freedom. And I'll come into a blue state and say diversity, inclusion, and you will give up your rights. You'll give up everything. You'll watch me bomb the shit out of the Middle East. You remember when Obama dropped more bombs than Bush? I can go on and on, folks. I could go on and on. Joe Biden's approval rating is the lowest of any president ever. And you know what's going to happen? The country will vote in a Republican, or the Democrats, Joe Biden won't make it to the 24 election because of his clear cognitive decline. Kamala will be sworn in as president, and the Republicans will run a fascist, and she'll go, you just got to anyone but them. And everyone will go, look, I'm not a fan of Kamala, but the Nazis so then Kamala will be president from 24 to 28, or just a full-on fascist will win. And this is what happens when you keep just voting for the lesser of two evils between these two utterly corrupt parties. This is what you get. What's happening in Texas happens all over the country in various forms. So whatever. But learn the hard way, America. You seem to really like that. You seem to really like to learn the hard way. It's working out. I think working the hard way is really working out for Americans. So shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood. And go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.